Hello and welcome to YHTV's Flowing into Awareness with visionary and master intuitive Anatara. I'm Christina Suzuma, your host for this program. This is episode 31. What are you hungry for? What are you hungry for? That is quite a broad question. Welcome, Anatara.
Oh, thank you, Christina. Nice to be here.
Oh, I always love having you here with us.
Well, we have the opportunity whenever I talk to you to sort of not nitpick, but get into some of the nitty gritty of what we are and who we are and why we feel the way we feel and do the things that we choose to do. So it's fun for me too. I accumulate all of the bits and pieces that come to me through my experience with my clients on a daily basis, and then I sort of work with it, and then I give it back, and I hopefully I'm giving it back in a way that makes sense and can be utilized, because what's the point in hearing something if you don't know what to do with it next?
Absolutely.
So I encourage anybody who is listening to let me know if you're not sure what to do with what I suggest, or with what I make you aware of. And I was really struck this time when you were introducing me as a master intuitive, and it was the word master that stuck out as you said it. And I thought, so what is a master of something, and what does it mean to have mastered something, and what is mastery? And the way I feel about being a master intuitive means simply that I have mastered within myself the language and the dialogue that I use to communicate with my higher self, and with the higher selves and other intuitive existence levels of other people that I meet, and my clients, and other things that go on in my practice. So really, I would say that what I am here for as a master intuitive is to share those things. It is to bring some of those things to light and make them seem easily available, so that others can do the same thing. So as a master intuitive, I don't consider myself to be better than anybody else. I just know that I've figured a few things out already. So, and maybe someday we can talk more about this, but I just felt appropriate to bring that up right now. And I'm bringing it up because now we're in the year 2014, and there are new things available to us, as there were new things available to us in 2013, and part of that is learning how to master some of the opportunities and some of the tools that we can use to find those opportunities as 2014 progresses. So I thought I would start with looking at what we are hungry for. I talk a lot about the heart, and I talk a lot about finding out what your heart wants, about looking into the language of your heart, so that you gain access to your truest nature, your truest self, your truest expression of all of those things in this here and now lives that we live and lead. So I was thinking that when we look deeply into our souls, and sometimes when we just relax a little bit, and take a deep breath and let things go, and say, wow, what would I really want if I could just dream what that is? What comes to me from that state of being? What comes to me through that state of relaxation? What do I really want? What is my heart hungry for? So I just use the analogy of, what do we want to feed ourselves with? What could we eat? What could we swallow? What could we nourish our heart selves with, our essence selves with? Um, that would bring us the satisfaction that we think we're constantly searching for. um, and I would say that we are all led by that desire to be satisfied with something, to be satisfied with work, to be satisfied with our relationships, to be satisfied with what we eat in all ways. And so, as with mastering something, what does it mean to be satisfied? And how do we find out what satisfies us? And therefore, what are we hungry for? What are we hungering to find? What are we desiring to complete? What are we looking to initiate so that we feel fed, so that we feel a reciprocity from the world around us, from the people around us, from our families, our friends, and even our governments? So, what are you hungry for? Are you hungry to feel more at ease? Are you hungry to feel on purpose, that you have a purpose that's meaningful to you? Are you hungry to relieve yourself of something that you don't like or that doesn't feel comfortable to you? So ask yourselves first. Take a few moments and close your eyes and take a very, very deep breath in. And with that breath, bring in the question in a very gentle and easy way. What do I hunger for? What am I looking for? And with the next exhalation, breathe out into that same sort of concept, into that same idea. What am I hungry for? What am I looking for? What do I feel I need in order to be satisfied? So do this a couple times on your own, when I'm not here talking to you about it, and see what sensations you receive. Notice what comes up for you. Does it feel like there's something that you can identify, that you want to find? Is there something specific that you feel you could grant yourself an acknowledgement of, or that you could grant yourself the right to have? And that can be either in something that you want to look out and find, or something within you that you want to release. Because sometimes our hunger is about looking at what we can um, sort of eliminate in ourselves, so that the next best thing can come in and fill us up. So with this breath, really, really allow yourself to ask yourself, give yourself permission to say, what do I want? What am I hungry for? What do I desire? And with the exhalation, give yourself the same advantage of knowing that it's okay for you to look for that. And you might find that it's not what you think it is. Maybe it's not a job that pays you more. Maybe it's just a different job. Maybe it's not a different job. Maybe it's just asking for more money where you're at. Maybe it's not a new person to be in relationship with, but it's a way to change the flow of the relationship. Maybe it's that there's something you've always wanted to do that you haven't done because you felt you needed to deny yourself that for some reason. But if you look at it from the perspective of what you're hungry for, you gain access almost immediately to your real essence, which is the part of you that's searching, and which is the part of you that is the master of who you are and what you need. So this is just a first step, and we'll talk about other steps in this process in continuing segments of my Flowing into Awareness series. And if you can just begin with this, you'll see that there is lots of available information for you, available to you through your intuition, available to you through your heart, that really speaks to who you are, and in a way what you're here for. But you're going to find that through allowing yourself to express your hunger, to express your desire for whatever that might be. So how about you, Christina? What do you find?
Well, that's a lovely exercise that you shared with us, Anatara. What comes up for me is what does it matter if what comes up has to do with ego, or has to do with ego, something that benefits us, as opposed to do I don't know how to express this. Like, so often I find that we are so controlled by our minds and what we think we feel, we think we hear, we think we ought to be. We think but it's not truly what is our heart center. So, is there a way to distinguish between the two? Because truly, I believe that when it is connected to heart and the true energy of the heart, it might be something that is so out there that we've never thought about. It's like it never come to mind before. Just that split moment. It's like, and I can hear it of, why am I thinking about that? Well, how's that going to benefit me? Do you know that cycle that we've seen over and over again, as body workers in the healing arts is that question of, well, why would I want to do that? Yet it was the first thing that came up.
Well, you're speaking to the purest form of the human conundrum that exists. Our minds are so powerful, and we generally do lead our lives through what our mind dictates for us. And if anyone can and take the moments, the way I've described it in that tiny little breathing exercise, you'll find that if you do it a series of times, or in succession in the moment or over a few days, that you will whittle away at that which the mind is dictating. And you're going to find that you will notice what feels like mind and what feels like we're calling ego, and what feels like we're calling the familiar or the traditional ways that we tend to choose things for ourselves, and what is more coming from our hearts and from our spirit aspects. And in many ways, the mind can lead us into those more expanded and deeper heart-centered places, as long as we're not afraid to even let the mind tell us what it's hungry for. So we listen to what we're hungry for, and then we can and analyze that in a way without too much emphasis, and take whatever comes up in that way back to the breath and back to the easiness of opening to what possibility there is, to opening to what other information there is more deeply registering there. And some days it's going to be easy, some days it's going to be difficult, some days you're going to feel free as your freest spirit self, and sometimes you're going to feel very bogged down by the mind. And all of that is okay. It's all who we are. It's all about using the pieces of being human to get to what the soul is hungering for, to get to what the soul is bringing us out to meet. So we go in and we meet things, we come out and we meet truths about ourselves, and the whole picture is going to take us to those true elements that I've been talking about. So I would say, don't worry about it. Don't be too concerned with what may be mind and what may be heart center. Work with whatever comes through. Look at what does come up first, because even if it's coming through a mind projection, it is generally representative of something that your spirit really wants. And just keep going with it. Practice it. Try it. See where it leads you. Find out what you really, really are hungering for, what you really, really desire on all different levels. There's a description there of you. There's a description there of each of us. So get to know that description and see what then can come of it.
Lovely. Oh, so nice and simple. And if any of you have questions further than that, I suggest you give Anatara a call.
Please.
Yes, and sort all that out. Oh my goodness. Well, I'm hungry for that. Thank you so much, Anna Katara, for this wonderful moment of flowing into awareness. And of course, we'd like to thank each and every one of you for joining us in this new platform of education and information. We're grateful for your continuous support, and we look forward to hearing your feedback on how we can serve you better. We invite you to join us on Tuesdays for Magical Medical Tour at 10:30 a.m. Pacific, 1:30 p.m. Eastern. Wednesdays for Trinity of Life at 11 a.m. Pacific, 2 p.m. Eastern, followed every other week with Flowing into Awareness with Anatara. You can contact Anatara simply by following her on Twitter at Anatara, and of course through her own website, anatara.ca. So until next time, you are very welcome to leave your comments on the page. If you scroll down, you'll see a little box. If you have questions for Anatara or any comments, please feel free to leave them there and we will respond as quickly as we can to you. Or you can call us directly at 818-LETS-TALK, 818-LETS-TALK. And if you do leave us a voicemail message, be sure to leave us your contact number and information so that we can respond to you as soon as possible. So we look forward to the next exciting Flowing into Awareness episode. Until next time, namaste.